I've been thinking a lot about you and your creative projects. How's it going? I have been tackling some ghost projects. A ghost project is an unfinished creative project that haunts you. You know what I mean? You may have similar projects in your closet, in your drawer, tucked away safely on a hard drive somewhere until you tackle those projects or make some other decision about them. They will haunt you. Unfinished creative projects tax our cognitive memories. There is scientific evidence that supports that. After years and years of collecting unfinished projects, they will mount up, literally a mountain. Not something that you can see, although sometimes you can. In my case, some of those ghost projects have been hiding in my attic. Recently, my husband and I have tackled the project of cleaning out the attic. He even came up with this lovely, brilliant idea to turn that space into my own studio. It would have an area for my sewing, for my visual art, jewelry making, and writing, and yes, a dedicated podcast studio space. And what I can see is that I could do sewing tutorials, painting projects, get a sneak peek at my writing, and also reaching out to you, inspiring you. How do you deal with ghost projects? There are the 3 R's, and those R's are not related to reading, writing, and arithmetic. Even as a little kid, I was tickled by how the 3 R's of those things don't all begin with the letter R. No, for dealing with a ghost project, you can recycle, you can rekindle, and you can release. Recently, I have dealt with 3 pretty big ghost projects. The first one is a sewing project. It was a top that I made out of beautiful fabric that I purchased at a little fabric store down in Boston. And that fabric was so cute, so pretty that for a long time it stayed untouched and unfinished. I had washed it, as I do with most of my fabric purchases, almost immediately. But then I put it away, folded up, nice and neat. Maybe about 10 years ago, I decided now's the time, dig it out. I decided I was going to make a little jacket out of it, something that I could wear over other things. Lightweight, it's just a regular jersey knit. But it didn't turn out right. There was something just a little bit wrong. The lining on the lapels was, I think, a different fabric, a cream color, I believe, and the rest was blue. And the fabric had this lovely design of birch trees and orange birds on a robin's egg blue background. And because it didn't quite work, and because I love the fabric so much, I couldn't throw it away. and yet I couldn't bear to finish it. I mean, why bother? And so recently I came up with the idea that I would use that fabric, even just a small part, and glue it to a mat board frame, and then print out or hand letter a lovely little inspirational saying. Put it in a frame, hang it on the wall, done. The fabric and the project no longer will haunt me. Another project that I had was also a sewing project. We tend to buy a lot of our furniture at thrift stores, and I had found this awesome stuffed chair for my daughter. It was so comfortable and so big, but the fabric was worn, and it was like a dusty rose antique print, nothing that she wanted in her space, but the bones were great. We decided we would go to a fabric store and buy some new fabric. My daughter loves primary colors, so we picked out a bright orange, a lovely purple, and a nice turquoise in a really suitable sailcloth fabric. The fabric would be great for the project. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough of any one of the colors, but Shannon being Shannon, she came up with the idea of mixing and matching, and so that's what we did. Pretty soon, I would say within a month of buying the fabric, I covered the seat cushion and the back cushion. That was pretty easy because I could take off the covers that were currently on it and just use those as a pattern. If you tackle projects like that 1 hour at a time, you get it done. But then the rest of the chair was a daunting task. At least that's what I thought. Pretty sure it sat unfinished for well over a year. The fabric store where we bought the fabric has since gone out of business, and that's just one sad reminder of how long the project took. But back in August, she reminded me, not in a egging on sort of way. I don't often see the chair, and so it's easy for things like that to slip your memory. But I had recently been sorting and boxing away fabric, and I had come across those pieces of the orange, the turquoise, and the purple, so I know exactly where they were. I'd even made up most of the welting that I would need. School has not started yet. Therefore, my husband brought the chair into an area where I could get at it, and then I began by spending an hour one day and then the next and then the next. Within the week, the project was finished. The chair moved back into her space, the seat cushion and the back cushion, and the whole thing finished. So sometimes we can rekindle a project. The last way to deal with ghost projects is to release them. We all have projects that no longer suit our goals, and yet they stay unfinished. We'll come upon a canvas half painted, a garment in fabrics and styles no longer popular, or that no longer will fit. Maybe it's a musical composition for a group or ensemble that no longer is together. A cooking project. Well, those are pretty easy to toss when they don't work out. A couple days ago, I burned a pot. Proof positive that even after decades of cooking, mistakes can be made. Sometimes sewing projects are those projects that are the hardest to release. We know how much we spent on the fabric. We might know how much time we have already invested in the project. What is it worth to finish it? Or how about you acknowledge that it is time to release it, and no longer will it be taking up your mental energy. So there you have it, the 3 R's to deal with ghost projects. You can recycle, you can rekindle, or you can release. What have you been working on or not working on? Projects that continue to haunt you. Drop a comment and let me know, and consider using the 3 R's as a way to deal with those ghost projects once and for all. And if you want to know more, sign up for my email. Just visit doyourart.org, and you'll find a link there where I send mostly weekly emails to keep you inspired. I'm on a mission to inspire others to do their art. So that's it for right now. A biento.